Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. And then the last award goes to Mathew Rynes, Richard Pyle, MD, Memorial Scholar, donated by Judy Benham in honor of her late husband. He is in the Biomedical Engineering Department. Matt?
Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Rynes. I am a graduate student in the Biomedical Engineering Department, working in the Biosensing and Biorobotics Lab Group, led by Professor Suhasa Korandaramaya. My background is in neuroscience, which I studied here at the University of Minnesota. And my graduate work now is focused on uncovering changes in brain-wide activity during spatial learning in mice. Previous research has elucidated a system across many regions that forms a system for spatial navigation and decision-making in animals, but questions remain about how brain-wide states arise out of this system. And another question that arises are how these regions are coordinated to produce one behavior. Much of the research that has been done on this system has been done while imaging from individual regions using a variety of techniques and technologies, but it hasn't really been performed across the brain at a high spatial and temporal resolution in an unrestrained animal. And this is mainly due to the lack of available technology capable of performing such imaging. So to perform this in our lab group, we develop a miniaturized fluorescence microscope capable of brain-wide calcium imaging in freely behaving animals. And this is one of the core things that our lab group does. We develop technology for neuroscience as one of the things at the core of one of my beliefs is that I believe technology drives innovation. And this is, I think, fundamental to some of my research motivation. And I think there is precedent in history to this view as well, where influential scientists and engineers over the ages who were at the forefront of major advances, where they were typically the first people to master or even create emerging techniques and technologies. And this dates back to people, well, a couple of examples I love to use are people like Galileo, who heard of technology for telescopes from some two other engineers, and he built a better one of his own. And then he used that to study the stars, or more pertinent to my field of study, a physician in Germany by the name of Corbinian Brodmann, who used his microscope to identify, just looking at the cortex of the brain of postmortem patients from the hospital, and just looking at how the differences in how they were organized, the cells were organized, he was able to find over 50 brain regions. And the list can continue. So I believe advancing technology and adopting it will lead us closer to discovering all of the mysteries that lie within the brain and other biological systems, and that these discoveries, as well as the technology itself, have the potential to greatly improve life for many people in the world through clinical applications, social, societal, and infrastructure advances, or through research, which is where I stand on this. This has always motivated me growing up, and the people who hold the beliefs similar to it as well, figures such as Carl Sagan, these types of people who advocate for this influence me, and my brothers, who always had a desire to describe things in nature to the best of our ability, but we fell short on the big questions. Where does consciousness arise? Where does the universe come from? And part of my sort of itch to understand this, to figure this out, was scratched where in my undergraduate degree, where I studied neuroscience, I became aware of research using some of these tools, using some advanced imaging tools, recording tools, to figure out and discover make large breakthroughs in our understanding of brain, such as population control of movements, which was led by some of the people who are with us in Minnesota. And so I don't want to close my introduction without stating how grateful I am to be and honored to be selected as an ARCS Scholar 2021 awardee. I think the award will greatly impact my ability to continue my research, present it to the scientific community, and it will also help me work to disseminate the technologies that I've taken part in developing. Also, the community that I'm being invited to, I think will be a great resource for reflecting my ideas and discussing with the greater scientific community. So I look forward to the beginning of a very fruitful relationship. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate your doing that. And congratulations to all our